Hey everyone, for this week's video discussion, I'm going to be talking about Chapter 11 and the case study of strict internal policy regarding internet usage on page 313. So just to give you the background, is your school is a mid-sized high school located in a rural district that has a very strict policy that limits internal use of the internet by teachers to school purposes only. You have discovered that several of your most talented tenured teachers have defied this policy and periodically employ the internet for their personal use. And your other teachers are aware. So question number one, how do you respond? I think it's definitely something that has to be addressed. I first would address it with just pulling the teachers that are accused of doing this solely. Probably bring them one by one. I wouldn't want to group them in a large group unless they were all looking at something similar together. And it doesn't really even matter what they were looking at. If there's a strict no policy, then it doesn't matter if they're just checking their Facebook, ordering clothes online, or working. There's a strict policy for that reason. So I would respond by talking to them, communicating with them, and hearing them out. I think it's important to listen to their side of the story and then come up with a solution of how you're going to move forward. For number two, do you ignore the situation because it's a minor occurrence? No, I don't care if it's minor. If it's a policy stating that you do not do that, then you do not do that. Because I think it's the whole kind of idea of I have this trust in my teachers that you are going to follow policy, and it doesn't matter if it's your second business or your Facebook account that you're checking. If there's a no policy and you break that, then that's breaking the trust that I have in you as a teacher. And if you can't, and to me, this is a pretty easy policy to follow. So it just breaks that trust and, and that's super hard to get back. And it kind of just, it's now something on my mind. Well, if they're defying this policy, then what else are they doing? Or if they do it once and I let it slide, what's it going to be the next time? Are they going to be trying to get on Netflix and YouTube, or not YouTube, but Hulu? Like, it's going to be, you give them an inch on this, then they're going to keep trying for more inches till they get a mile. And here they are running their second business on their school computer. I also think you address the situation and respond, because everything we do on school computer is usually tracked very well. And your teachers need to know that it's their safety that is at risk when they put these, you can put personal information on. If you're buying something and you're typing in a credit card number, that's now on the school system computer. And I think when you phrase it like that too, I think teachers understand the severity of it and understand why that policy is in place when they can see the benefit to themselves. And number three, these teachers are among some of your best teachers who consistently work late, go beyond the call of duty. Do you wish to alienate them on this issue? I wouldn't single them out, especially in the crowd of their colleagues. Nobody likes being singled out, but it would be very much addressed as a whole staff meeting. I think I would make a whole staff meeting on this policy, and you're going to understand why you don't do it. And, but you don't alienate them in front of their peers, but pulling them aside, understanding what they did was wrong, understanding that that trust is broken. And, now whatever they were looking at is on the school system, I think, is a really good way to go about that. But what is most feasible for this solution is I would definitely reiterate the policy and have them read over it, all staff members read over it. And I think having them sign saying they read it that's just more documentation that if they do go beyond and do this again using the internet, then you kind of have them a breach in what they signed, because they're saying they're not going to do this. I also think you could have someone from technology come in and just explain to them how the school policy and, internet works, and say, everything is kind of censored, or I could be making that up. It might not be censored, but everything is stored together, and how this isn't your private computer, this isn't your home, this is your workplace, and the strict policies there for your safety, for the student's safety. And again, if you do that, you're breaking my trust, because you said you're not going to do it, and here's a piece of paper signed, ready to go, saying you won't. Um, and I would make it, policy. We are thrown a lot of policies in education, but if it's an important policy, then sometimes I think it is important to go over them multiple times throughout the year. Um, definitely in the beginning of the year, and that signed, recognized policy. Then maybe once at, the Christmas time, when everyone comes back from break and you're kind of ready to roll for the 2 long 9 weeks, I think it's important to reiterate certain rules that you want teachers to follow. Because, I mean, we're human, we have a ton of our plate. It's so easy for teachers or anyone these days just to type in Facebook on their computer, not even thinking. So reiterating, the policy and the signed documentation that they're not going to do this, I think is one way to make sure this doesn't happen again.